One of the people I love more than anyone in this world is my mum. She was born in the 50s, and like many her age, she started work aged 15 and expected to retire and start receiving her state pension at 60. That women retired at 60 and men at 65 was an understanding woven into society for decades. But in 1995, the pension age was equalised for men and women to be 65. While there was some communication, it's fair to say it was inadequate, leaving many women unaware. This was compounded in 2011 when the timetable for this change was accelerated and the pension age rose again. This means that many women approach their 60th birthday expecting to retire, only to find out they had to carry on working for several more years. It threw many of their retirement plans into disarray. Now, I'm all for equality, but I truly believe that many women were unfairly affected by these changes, which seem to be ill-considered, unfairly implemented and poorly communicated. So it's time for the government to stop and listen to their concerns. Oh, and as for my mum, by the time she retires, she's going to be almost 67.
Michelle, as you know, I am a passionate feminist, but I definitely am not when it comes to this issue. I do not want equality where retirement is concerned. I completely agree with you. I think the way it's been handled it's just been an absolute shambles. And actually, the thing isn't about equalising the age of retirement, is about the preparation and the amount of time that people were given to know about these changes and prepare for them. So I'm with you. And what I found really fascinating is I think the government is going to have to do something about this, because this group are totally organised, aren't they, and mobilised, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. So,
may I suggest, considering men die earlier than women,
and women we have the menopause. The menopause alone means we should be allowed to retire.
Because women live far longer than men, I think that perhaps women should retire at an age older than we men.
Oh,
we die sooner.
You are. Get off the show now.
So I think. Can I just at this stage bring in the Department for Work and Pensions, not to defend what's going on, but that's because it's they have a right to reply to this, and they have said that as we are all living considerably longer, we need to adjust the pension age to ensure the sustainability of the state pension now and for future generations. We have thoroughly reviewed the options for equalising the state pension age, listening to concerns along the way. As a result, we have spent an extra £1.1 billion to ensure that nobody will reach the state pension more than 18 months beyond when they would have done under the 1995 Pensions Act timetable.
You know, right. I mean, I should declare now I'm a WASPI. I'm sure you all knew that anyway. And I had no idea about these pension changes. And I'm one of the lucky ones.
Didn't you?
No, I didn't. I knew about it about 2 years ago. But I'm one of the lucky ones in that I'm still working. There are a lot of women in their early 60s who don't have the luxury of that, whose job came to an end at a certain age. Those women will never work again. Those women will not get jobs. And if they do get jobs again, it'll be filling supermarket shelves. It'll be doing something that's not terribly good for them.
Well, they're often told to get an apprenticeship.
Well,
I've heard them.
Well, I mean, that's just stupid. And,
I know.
And I think I calculated what I may have lost by not getting the pension at 60, and it's actually 40 grand.
Yeah, it's
so far, I would have lost that.
Wow.
Now, you know, I just think this government and previous ones, they're forever clubbering people in their 60s.
This is a coalition.
I think it's interesting.
It wasn't a coalition government.
No,
it's been successive governments. This has gone on
yes,
for such a long time.
I think it's easy to get lost in the sort of numbers and the detail and how many women are losing what. And actually, what I find interesting about this and saddening is that it's really a story of the history of women in the workforce, and the fact that the reason women retired at 60 is a lot of them didn't have jobs anyway to retire from, and then at 60 they got a little bit of money from if they'd paid their NICs, their national insurance stamp. And now it's interesting because
we're being penalised again. Yeah.
But we've got to take care of
No, because when the government is looking to make savings, they say we're going to go after women because women don't take pay attention to their finances. They won't notice this has happened. And this is what's happened.
They go after women.
These women.
They go after women
Well,
in pensions. And, one of the really sad facts for me is we have the biggest number of people at the moment, and a lot of them are women, who exist on nothing but the state pension. And the average state pension a week is 122 quid. I mean, that is shocking. You know, that's less than you would get if you were on the dole.
So there's talk of some sort of bridging arrangement. So the women whose pension can be non-existent for those 5 or 6 years they thought, they can get something to make up for it? I mean, what is the actual proposal?
Shall we give you a case study? Because there's a lady here, let's call her Sue, and she really goes into detail in terms of her circumstances. And what she says is, I was born in 1954, I always worked part-time, started paying into local government pension scheme in '86, and planned and expected my state pension at 60 in 2014. In 2011, I was made redundant due to austerity and urged to take early retirement on the grounds that I would get my pension at 60 in 2014. In 2012, I got a letter from DWP informing me my state pension date had been deferred to 2020. Wow. I never would have taken redundancy if I'd have known this. The 1995 Pension Act and the acceleration of the 2011 Pension Act has meant I've been affected twice without due notice to make other arrangements for my retirement. I will have to sell my home. I've been discriminated against due to my date of birth and gender. Now, why I feel so strongly, and I feel so strongly about this, women's mental health has been deeply affected because of this. And you say that this group is mobilised, but actually I worry for this group because they're not mobilised. Because
what
actually,
I'm seeing they are, though.
No, actually what's happened, you've got many fragmented groups campaigning for many fragmented different outcomes. You've got people that want to have everything paid back to the age of 60 and all the rest of it. You've got some people that just want bridging. And I worry for these people because what they do need, and they need it incredibly quickly, is a single voice, one voice, where they come together, they determine what their aids are, and they take legal action against the government, because I feel so strongly that they were...
I think that the Guy Opperman, who is the government minister responsible, has already said that it's a done deal and they can't ask...
That's what I was going to say.
The younger generation to pay for the old women.
Is there any solution on the horizon?
Can we hear from the chairman of the WASPI Action Group, who is called Pat Tartellin?
The WASPI campaign is fighting on behalf of 1950s-born women whose state pension age was changed up to 6 years with little or no notice. Some women never even received a letter from the DWP and arrived at their 60th birthday to find they had to wait a further 6 years before they received their state pension.
It's a real lesson, isn't it? When you get those brown envelopes, open them, read them, read the small print.
Some of them never received
This is what I'm saying.
didn't get one.
These guys, so many of these ladies, and this is what I finish on, they were not informed. You cannot be told for decades that you will retire at 60 and then have it changed with no notice.